24, infinite potential. Water symbolizes the whole of potentiality, the source of all possible existence. Mircea Eliade. Alchemy and transformation. Infinite potential is the third evolutionary step that the soul-centered aspirant meets beyond the threshold of the world, or awakened Aphrodite initiation. In card number 22, the flame of bliss that surrounds the womb of light birthed infinite bliss into ecstatic form. This divine presence opened the luminous gates of the mind in order to manifest the vision of card number 23, infinite truth. Now, in card number 24, the miracle of the goddess has returned, carrying within her lotus womb the gift of infinite potential. Waves of pulsating energy move in rhythmic harmony, creating the living embodiment of her form in which all possibilities exist. At this exalted juncture, one may become sensitive to energy fields and vortexes, ley lines, and power centers within the body of the earth. The human body, containing the miracle of the divine feminine, is once again in union with the tree of life that birthed the potential of the world. Consequently, the committed seeker now becomes aware of his or her roots, which proceed far into the galactic heavens, into the heart of the womb/star that held the original seeds of creation. The higher mind merges with the song of the universe. The beautiful flow of sound that emanates from this cosmic attunement opens the floodgates of intuition. Prophecy, poetry, art, ritual, and miraculous communication of all sorts are the gifts of the triple goddess manifesting in our everyday lives. The new world's soul, gestating within the womb of infinite potential, is the jeweled heart shining in you. Once you realize this, you become a strong vessel, a whole vessel of unlimited love, light, and wisdom. In short, you realize your own infinite potential. Awakening to the archetype, Sheila Nagig, the Green Woman. When the infinite potential card appears in a reading, the essential energy of Sheila Nagig, the Green Woman of ancient Ireland and Britain, is invoked. Depicted as a naked, crone-type figure with sagging breasts and wizened features, Sheila Nagig is typically shown squatting on her haunches, displaying her goddess womb. In ancient times, stone carvings of her image were often found over thresholds, symbolizing the liminal space between death and rebirth. Such thresholds were both human-made, such as tombs and gateways, and naturally occurring, such as holy wells, nature's birth canals into the womb of Mother Earth. Sheila Nagig embodies a most profound and complete understanding of the Trinitarian nature of infinite potential, for she is mother, maiden, and crone, all three aspects of the triple goddess in one. What she teaches us is that without the death energy of the crone, the maiden cannot conceive and the mother cannot give birth. She invites us into her ancient womb/tomb in order that we might experience the mysterious alchemy of death and by so doing give birth to the infinite potential of our virgin souls. In Celtic mythology, it is said that the great, quote, well of wisdom, end quote, stands at the center of the Celtic underworld. Early Irish literature recounts how water from this well gushes up as a fountain in the courtyard of the fairy palace. 5 streams flow from the well of wisdom, symbolizing the 5 senses through which the wisdom potential of the well comes into being. The holy wells of Ireland and Britain are understood as mere tributaries of this primordial well/womb. In Irish folk tradition, holy wells were visited at special times of the year when the gates of the other world were opened wide and the fairies would make themselves visible to mortals. Ancient people visited the wells in order to worship at nature's shrines to the triple goddess, but also for the traditional virtues of healing and divination. Dreaming at holy wells was used as a method of foretelling the future, possibly an echo of pagan times when a female oracle presided over the well. Such oracles may have been the inspiration for the damsels of the wells, referred to in medieval accounts of the Holy Grail. In one such account, an evil king rapes one of the damsels and steals her golden cup. As a result, all the wells dry up and the country becomes a wasteland that can only be redeemed when the Holy Grail, the golden cup of feminine wisdom, is found. In the Ireland of today, pilgrimages to holy wells are still an important part of the Christian year. Many of these pilgrimages fall on St. Bridget's Day, February 1. St. Brigitte, or Bridget, being a Christianized version of the triple goddess Brigid, who happens to bear a striking resemblance to Sheila na gig. For example, many of Ireland's holy wells are dedicated to her in her less threatening form as St. Bridget. Also, Brigid is understood as the triple goddess of regeneration and wisdom, whose, quote, cauldron of inspiration, end quote, is the source of divination and prophecy. Tellingly, a stone icon of Sheila na gig can be found at Kildare Cathedral, a holy site closely associated with St. Bridget throughout its long history. Perhaps the oldest image of Sheila na gig is still in existence in one found on St. Adamnan's pillar at the hill of Tara. If you look closely, you can barely discern the faintest trace of a mysterious smile on her prehistoric lips. Mother, maiden, crone, she smiles down through the ages, inviting us to the infinite potential of her triple goddess womb. Everyday encounters. You encounter the triple goddess of infinite potential whenever you conceive a thought or emotion and let it ripen in the womb of pure awareness before sharing it with the world. You meet her when you allow old habits and patterns to die a natural death, making room for the possibility of a new you. You meet her when you let yourself rest in the liminal state of unknowing and uncertainty, rather than rushing into the false security of premature resolution. You meet her when you finally get still and quiet enough to tap into your own well of wisdom and prophetic knowing, and when you cross over a threshold of any sort. You cultivate the power of infinite potential in your life through meditation and silent reflection at sacred sites known to be gateways or thresholds into the other world. Why not consider a pilgrimage to holy wells and Sheila na gig sites in Ireland and Britain, for example? You cultivate her power when you visualize yourself as pregnant with all possibility, or become pregnant for real. When you walk through doorways, remind yourself that every death is a threshold into new life. Study the ancient art of divination. Tap into your psychic abilities. Trust your intuition. Remember that without death, there is no birth. Download a picture of Sheila na gig from the internet and tape it to the frame of your bedroom mirror. Look in the mirror and flash yourself an ancient, mysterious smile. Celebrate the mother, maiden, crone within. Nature's healers, lotus. In the East, the life cycle of the lotus is considered a perfect reflection of the three stages of spiritual growth and evolution: ignorance, skillful means, and enlightenment. At the first phase of its life, corresponding to ignorance, the lotus roots extend upward from the muddy lake bottom. At the second phase, corresponding to skillful means, the lotus stem is caressed and supported by the water. Finally, at the third phase, corresponding to enlightenment, the lotus flower breaks the surface of the water, blossoming into the light of day. In the center of the flower is a capsule-like pod containing thousands of seeds capable of sprouting after lying dormant for thousands of years. The body of the goddess in the image of infinite potential holds this flowering lotus within the belly of her perfection. Those who achieve this level of initiation are, like the seeds of the lotus, preparing to sprout into the wholeness of their own perfected truth in order to offer the fragrant elixir of their soul to the world. Your soul message. If you can imagine it, you can create it. If you can dream it, you can become it. William Arthur Ward. Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. Japanese proverb. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Carl Jung. From the Triple Goddess Tarot by Isha Lerner. Number 7, The Journey Home. I was shown a fledgling learning to fly. Its first efforts were very feeble, but as it used its wings more and more, they became stronger until it found the freedom of flight and was able to soar to great heights and fly great distances without any effort. I heard the words, "Faith comes with practice. Live by faith until it becomes rock-like, unshakable, and find the true freedom of the Spirit." Eileen Caddy. Traditional tarot image, the Chariot. Traditional translation. Every journey offers numerous opportunities for new awareness that may change the course of one's life forever. The Chariot brings many associations to mind. In Greek mythology, Apollo, the sun god, rules the heavens and rides in a brilliant golden chariot. The chariot opens the way for us to look deeper within ourselves in order that we may discover the resources buried therein. Victory and courage are outer manifestations of something much grander and more meaningful, for it is the strength of the inner world that infuses the conscious domain of human activity and triumph. The chariot, symbolized by the numerological power of 7, is powered by the force of the unconscious, which propels one to research the inner caverns of the soul. The number 7 is inherently mystical. When influenced by this numerical force, one often engages with quiet study and meditative reflection, for there is a quest for inner knowledge and deeper understanding. At this stage, the sacred marriage symbolized by the Lover's card has anchored a chalice or womb-like structure within the psyche. This will serve one well in life, for the synthesis of one's masculine and feminine aspects provides a foundation for a higher order of functioning in the world. The Chariot begins the next sequence of 7 major arcana cards on the royal road of wisdom. Here, the emphasis shifts from the more primal personal evolution toward refined principles of initiation and service. Alchemy and transformation. The Chariot marks an important turning point in the development of human consciousness, for it is at this stage of initiation the individual becomes aware of his or her unique existence and must find a way home to the soul. This journey towards inner consciousness marks the point in one's life when a new level of maturation emerges, for one must meet the challenge of individuation head on. The quest for identity has expanded outward, yet ironically, the cosmic significance of one's life purpose must be found within. Pictured in the Journey Home card is the forward movement of the soul force, represented by the flying goddess, whose body is surrounded by the spiritual guidance of her winged angels, the white birds. She journeys towards the moon, symbolizing humanity's watery, emotional interior. The moon, from an astrological point of view, holds the imprint of memory of the human soul. Her outstretched arms embrace the luminous orb of the moon's light, signifying her willingness to encounter the original home from which the soul body manifests. From this perspective, the individual fully engages with the heavenly attributes of the divine feminine. The blue sky represents her quest for higher truth. The white birds represent the pure freedom that arises out of one's inner quest for harmonious union of spirit and matter. At this stage of initiation, the spiritual seeker aspires towards a personal relationship with the world. To accomplish this, one must withdraw from the transitory nature of the outer spheres and engage with that which is fluid and eternal. As long as the human being lives primarily in the pleasure and pain of life, he or she cannot gain knowledge of the unchanging, supersensible world. One must learn to engage with the intermediaries of the soul and live through the intuitive self that, in time, becomes the primary organ of perception. The relationship between our own eternal nature and the eternal in the things of the world must be fully realized. For example, when observing a stone, a plant, or a star, ask the question, what is the permanent reality that lives in this transitory manifestation? Every leaf, every tiny insect will unveil the eternal mystery that lies beyond the vision of our physical eyes. When the eye is directed towards spirit, When the individual opens the window of the soul and reaches inward toward the pursuit of universal truth, then and only then, every shade, every sparkle is part of the journey home to the soul. Awakening to the archetype, Bird Woman. The goddess in the form of a bird is found in many cultures, one of the earliest being the bird woman figure in the Lascaux caves of Paleolithic France, dating back from 20,000 BCE. Another form of bird woman is found in the Maori mythology in New Zealand. These goddesses, along with many bird-masked female figures representing the power of hawk, owl, raven, and dove, act as messengers between heaven and earth, bringing omens, communicating with celestial guides and guardians, and carrying the essence of the enlightened soul. The bird is a symbol of expanded consciousness and from very early times has been associated with reincarnation and rebirth. In fact, the Latin aves means both birds and ancestral spirits or angels. Similarly, in Buddhist mythology, it is said that in order to undertake the journey of transcendence, one should become bird-like or be accompanied by a bird. Birds are twice born, first in the egg and then out of it. Furthermore, the bird, like the great celestial chariot, tracks its mission and stays on course throughout the various stages of its life cycle. You are invited to take flight into the great heavens with your soul as you journey into the vast terrain of your deepest truth and wisdom. Reach beyond the personal ego. Find solace within the sky of new perception. Be like the Buddhist Dakinis, known as the sky dancers, who reside in a celestial palace of lotus light. The number 7 is very sacred. Initiates of the Mithraic mysteries climb the ladder of 7 rungs, each made of a different metal, corresponding to the 7 planetary spheres and their deities. Identify your own journey and fly straight into the ecstasy of self-realization and rebirth. Everyday encounters. Each day, the opportunity for clearer understanding and knowledge arises within the soul of the individual. In our daily routines, we drive, bicycle, or jog down the same roads day in and day out, becoming blinded to the mystery and magic that surround us. Often in a rush, we harness our lives to external human-made clocks that wind us down to an exhausting level of human doing. This treadmill existence engenders more and more of the same mindless busyness in a kind of closed-loop vicious cycle. We've worked hard to achieve material success and are so inclined to continue our hectic lifestyles in the interest of maintaining the status quo. The Journey Home card comes to you at an auspicious time. The next stage of evolution knocks on the door of your heart. It is time to slow down, open the door, and meet your destiny. Immerse yourself in nature. Look into the mystery of life with new eyes. The flowers radiate iridescent light that extends beyond the atomic structure of their blossoms. Something magical is afoot. You are on your way home. Know beyond a shadow of doubt that you are more than what can be seen with the physical eyes. The time is now to find right relationship with body, soul, and spirit. Nature's healers, shooting star. This beautiful little flower resembles a star, comet, or chariot zooming to Earth. Shooting star reminds you that you have come to Earth with many special talents and gifts, along with a unique mission and destiny. The tiny chariot, or shooting star, is a beautiful metaphor for the path you may take to the realization of this destiny. Don't delay. Shoot directly into the heart of the matter. Live each day as if it were your last. Shooting star flower essence can assist you in finding your soul's true incarnation. At this time, you may feel a deep connection to plant spirits and flower elementals, for the material world around you has suddenly expanded. It's as if the tiny particles that constitute the atomic structure of matter are dancing and shimmering with delight. This may not be visible to the naked eye, but it can be felt and intuited by the energy of this blissful awakening. Your soul message. We go beyond the veil of fear, lighting each other's way. The holiness that leads us is within us, as is our home. A Course in Miracles. From the Triple Goddess Tarot by Isha Lerner.